you. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Leads on our sexual awareness series as we promised. Though today's closure, but it's an impactful one. Today, we are discussing about prevention of sexual harassment at workplace, POSH Act 2013. So, we welcome our guest, Smita Tandon. Welcome, Smita.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Our pleasure. So she is a certified POSH trainer and a compliance expert on sexual harassment of women at workplace, Prevention, Prohibition, Redressal Act 2013. She provides expert consulting and training in the area of diversity and inclusion, POSH, to create a respectful and a healthy environment at workplace. Thank you for being with us at Lead Smita and share your experience and expertise and experience of 2 decade plus of corporate HR with Hindustan Lever Limited. So we welcome you to Leeds. Welcome.
Thank you
And
so much.
yeah, and now I hand
Thank you
over to
so
my
much.
co-host Soumyata to set the context. Soumyata, please, over to you.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today, Smita. So, POSH law tries to reinforce a safe work culture and prevents hostile or discriminating work environment. It is a law that saves and offers protection against sexual harassment of women at workplace as well as redressal of sexual harassment. POSH helps differentiate between appropriate and inappropriate behavior. In a survey by Indian National Bar Association of around 6,047 people, the survey determined that 38% of women face sexual harassment at workplace. Out of the 69% never report it. Another international survey states that 54% of women report unwanted sexual advances, 90% of employees never file a formal complaint, and 75% never even complain to their employers. Fear and absence of confidence at workplace results in decreased productivity, low satisfaction rates, dropping of valuable employees, and a decline of good work culture. So let's hear more about POSH and understand it better with Mrs. Smita Tandon. So Suman ma'am, you can ask the first question.
Thank you, Soumyata, for setting the context at the right way. So, Smita, please tell our viewers like what constitutes sexual harassment at the workplace. What actually it is.
Uh, Very important question because understanding this concept of sexual harassment is very important at workplace. You know, whenever we go for trainings and ask people that, have you come across any instance that makes you feel uncomfortable? People are not sure whether we can raise our voice or not. Is calling someone by names, is this sexual harassment? If I call you by offensive names like, hey, sexy Suman, how would you find it?
And what about darling sweetie?
Is it sexual harassment?
Yeah,
Can you make a complaint on this? Is
yes.
sending an offensive WhatsApp forward, is this sexual harassment?
Or cracking a obscene or uncomfortable jokes in the office premises in front of the.
Yes.
So
Is
there are so
tapping
many
on the
queries.
shoulder sexual harassment? All of this is. If it is some behavior that is making me feel uncomfortable, if it is making me feel offensive, if it is unwelcomed by me, it is sexual harassment. But there are a lot of myths around it that, it is something that is only physical or something uh, that is something that is, sexual assault. Kinds of instances could be sexual harassment. It is not that way. Sexual harassment is any behavior that is unwelcome in nature and that is sexual in nature. If I don't like
True.
something, I must speak about it. It is something which is very subjective. I may like to talk about it. I may not like to talk about
Smita, before we move on,
it. Yeah,
you said it is very subjective. So,
absolutely.
what you though it was my personal experience. So when I was in the my work place, my senior, he had a habit of entering somebody's personal zone, you know.
Yes,
So and it was very uncomfortable, but I never ever able to address it.
yes.
So I thought and then I started observing he's the same with others too. And then I realized no. So it was very, I can't say it. So it was actually very kind of what I can say confusion kind of thing for me to understand what kind of gesture it is, you know.
So
So
same behavior may not be sexual harassment for the other person, but you don't have that kind of equation with the person. That's why you find it offensive, and
So
that's
why I
why,
brought out this because it is subjective thing, but there
yes.
must be some guidelines too. You know, you can. I mean, it tells you that yeah, these things are not acceptable. So do we have some kind of guidelines? Can you please throw some knowledge on that?
Sexual harassment, as per law, has a very
Yes.
comprehensive definition, a very comprehensive definition. But I can summarize it in 3 words for everyone to remember it. If there is anything that is sexual in nature, which is unwelcome by you, and it is about the impact, if it is making you uncomfortable, it is sexual harassment. The
Right.
law is very beautiful and very different in that way. The entire definition can be summarized in these 3 words. Remember these 3 words, all of you. If it is sexual in nature, if it is unwelcome, and if it is all about impact, if it is making you uncomfortable, it is harassment for you. You have all rights to speak up. But the problem is, we don't speak up. If we
Right.
speak up at the right point of time, we can avoid a lot of unpleasant situations.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing it out. So
Thank you. So many a
right.
times, a person who's accused of, harassing the other person ends up saying, "Oh, it was just light-hearted joke, or it was just a casual comment.
Yes.
I did not mean it." So, what's your perspective and what's your take on this?
So everybody who says something understands it. There's a difference between complimenting someone and harassing someone. When you are complimenting someone, you're trying to build a rapport with someone. You want to make that person feel
Right.
good. But when you're harassing someone, you want to intimidate that person. You don't want to compliment
Hmm.
that person. You want to intimidate that person. So, sexual harassment is less to do with sex, less to do with misuse of sex, but more to do with power, misuse of power. When a person misuses his power, that is when they are crossing the boundaries. It's all about impact. The person will definitely deny it. I was saying it is a joke, and if they
Right.
cannot take jokes, they should not be coming to work. They should not be asking for equal rights. That is not the way. It's different. If it is making me uncomfortable, I must raise my voice. There's a difference between complimenting someone and harassing someone. When you're complimenting, you want to build a rapport with that person.
Right.
Yeah.
So here, I'd just like to share an incident. There was usually now that there are a lot of WhatsApp groups of people, from workplace, their workplace WhatsApp groups and everything. So there's an incident where I remember that one of my colleagues, he shared photos of a woman in a bikini on the group, and incidentally in that team I was the only woman, and this was also followed by a couple of adult jokes, which made me really uncomfortable. So I decided to call my boss and tell him that, I don't know why we are having these kind of things on this kind of platform, which is just meant for official communication. Though WhatsApp is a unofficial or a casual platform, but when you make a group for work purposes, it is just meant for that. And of course, appropriate actions were taken place. But there's so many incidents which happen like this, which are always overlooked or just ignored, because again, WhatsApp or such social media groups are just casual platforms, right? So what's your take on this?
So, these days the boundaries have become very blurred. We are not just working in
Yeah.
office. We are not just, connected by way of emails or by formal communication. We are connected 24/7. We are not only
Right.
connected, by official mails, but on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Insta, on social media. Anybody can call you up late at night now during this lockdown period. Everybody seems to be connected throughout. Anytime you just pick up the phone and call up the person. But
Right.
it is important that professional decorum must be maintained at all point of time. You cannot just take your colleagues for granted. So even if that WhatsApp group was created for some work-related, assignments or some work-related projects, if there's someone who is forwarding you such things, it is not acceptable. And you've done a right thing by raising your voice. Because unless and until we raise our voice, unless and until we show our concern, things like this will continue.
Absolutely.
These,
And then people
these
don't
have to be
understand their
understood by,
boundaries, and
yes.
absolutely. And many a
It is not
times I
only
feel that if you
important
don't
that the
raise
other
your
person
voice,
understands the boundaries, but it is also important that we communicate the boundaries. Unless and until we
absolutely,
communicate the
that's setting the
boundaries,
expectations.
yes.
So I think, if you usually keep quiet in such situations, it just acts as an encouragement because the other person realizes that they have been successful in intimidating you or, kind of putting you on a back foot or embarrassing you.
Yes.
So with this, I'll ask you my next question. Does one have to be a permanent employee of an organization to make a complaint against sexual harassment and for, inquiry to be set up?
No. The POSH Act applies to all women who are at the workplace. Now, they may be your permanent employee, they may be your probationers, they may be your interns, they may be your contract employees, they may be a service staff. She may even be a visitor. If I walk into an office to do a training and if I get harassed, I can raise a complaint there. The Act covers every woman employee at the workplace. So what if she's a visitor also? The Act covers all women at the workplace. For that matter, the maids working at your house.
Right.
What is the workplace for them? What is the workplace for them?
Our house. Our house. Yes.
Your house. Who is the employer for them? You are the
We
employer
are
for
the
them.
employees,
So
right?
can they raise a complaint?
Right.
Now, who can they go to? They can either go to the police or they can go to the local committee for filing a complaint.
Right.
Every woman is covered at the workplace as far as this act is concerned.
Right.
No,
Suman
most
ma'am, would you take-
organizations these days
Right.
have gone a step further and made their policies as gender neutral because, it was seen as something that is favoring more women. But the reality is that gender equation at workplace is such that we still do not have too many women at senior level. And
Right.
and the statistics also shows that it is more number of women who get sexually harassed than men. But yes, policies are different in different organizations, and most organizations have made it a gender neutral policies where both men and women are covered. So anybody walking in the workplace is covered.
But here, like you said, that there's lesser number of women at senior positions, and the ratio is very, very bad.
Yes.
So, that is also a point which leads to discouragement in filing a formal complaint.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, we saw that 95% of the accused go unpunished. This is also a statistic. So women usually feel that they might lose out on work opportunities. They might earn a bad reputation as of a problematic person, or someone who likes to escalate unnecessarily, and that is a big discouragement. So I really want to know what are organizations doing to sort this out, to solve this issue.
You said the statistics of 95% cases are not handled properly. I wouldn't agree on that. Why I would
No, 95% of no, they are handled. Their internal inquiry complaints committee is set up, but 95 of the accused men of harassing women go unpunished. That is the international statistic. It's not an Indian statistic. That is an international study.
So, in organizations which are serious on this subject, organizations which are working for diversity, organizations which are really concerned about their reputation, organizations which have a long-term vision, they don't take shortcuts, let me tell you. They don't take shortcuts.
Right.
Every smallest of the incident is not ignored. Wherever we go for, trainings, if the organization and if the top management is serious on the subject, they will take an action and they will ensure that not only action is taken, but it is seen to be taken.
Right.
You know, reputation of the organization is at stake. We have seen numerous cases. You would have heard of the Helka incident, how Tanun
Absolutely, yes.
Tejpal was,
Yes.
alleged of, the sexual harassment by his own employee. You would have heard of Infosys, the infamous Infosys case, the Terry case. There's so many of them, so many of them. You would have heard of the Me Too movement. If you ignore it,
Yes.
you cannot suppress it for long. Things are changing, Samvita. Things are changing these days. Earlier, we used to keep quiet. We were told to keep quiet. When we were kids, when we used to go out in public transport, and if somebody happens to, touch us inappropriately, what did we do? What
We
did we
kept
do?
quiet. We ignored it.
Kept quiet. Probably got down at the next stop. Probably took a
Right.
different bus. But we never raised our voice. But do we tell our children the same thing these days?
No.
No, we don't tell our children the
But
same. We tell our
um,
children,
like,
fight, raise your voice, shout out.
yes,
Same way,
yes,
organizations are
absolutely.
also changing. They are also telling and empowering their employees, speak up. Because unless and until you speak up, things won't change. We have realized it hard way. And this
So, Smita,
Me
I
Too
would like
movement
to,
was all
yeah,
about naming and shaming.
so
Thanks to Me
me,
Too
Yeah.
movement, lot of cases have come out.
yeah,
Yes.
but Me Too,
So we are
Me Too
seeing a
movement,
massive change in this area.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Earlier we used to do training for compliance purpose. The act is not very old. It only came in 2013. Most organizations were doing it for
Okay.
compliance purpose. Tick the box. Training करा दो. Training हो जाएगी. हम लोग बच जाएंगे. Tick the box approach होता था. Things now are different. We are not taking shortcuts.
Right.
We want to build on the culture.
Right.
can you hear me, Samita?
Which is a
Smita?
very good
Yes,
thing.
yes,
Yes,
Sumati, can
you're
hear you.
audible. You're audible.
I have some technical issues, so I'm just asking.
No, we can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. So you, just sorry to intervene, but Smita, you just mentioned about Me Too movement. So in Me Too movement, something very critical thing also came out. Can you complain of something which happened a 10-year back or 5 years back now?
So, Me Too movement was not an official forum for complaining. It was just a forum for, making a noise on the social media, just name and shame your harasser. There was no guarantee that an action will be taken or not. But the POSH Act has very strict guidelines for complaining. The POSH Act says that you can make a complaint within 3 months of the date of incident.
Yes,
If something has
absolutely.
happened today, I can make a complaint within next 3 months. If there are special circumstances, like physical incapacity of the complainant or mental incapacity, ऐसा कुछ अगर genuine reason है, then I can be given an extended period of 6 months, 3 months additional. Otherwise, I must make a complaint within 3 months. The organizations at organization level, the workplace have the law, and the law is very strict on these parts, the timelines. Same way, when the complaint has come, it has to be addressed within next 3 months. So within next 3 months, organization has to take action, do a proper inquiry, do a proper investigation, and take and recommend action to the management.
Right.
Thank you.
So, so now that the next question would be that what should you do if you know someone who has experienced sexual harassment at workplace
Yes.
and the
What should
person
you
themselves
do
is not?
if what should
Yeah.
you do if you are sexually harassed? Then I would say all organizations which have 10 or more employees working there are required to form an internal committee. All organizations across India, and it
Right.
is compulsory for every organization. Now, these 10 employees, there may be not a single woman employee in these 10 employees. The law says 10 employees. even if there is not a single employee, you need to have an internal committee in place to address the issues of sexual harassment. So what, if there is no woman employee, a woman visitor may walk in. Yeah. For organizations which have less than 10 employees, all districts across India have a local committee. So you can reach out to your, local committee. The names are all notified with the district officers. So anyone who feels sexually harassed at the workplace can reach out to the internal committee of the workplace where they're working. And if there are less than 10 people, to the local committee. And if the complaint is against the employer himself, suppose it's a small firm, then you can go to the local committee itself. Or if you're too scared of, reaching out to either of these two people, the Ministry of Women and Child Welfare has come out with a website by the name of shebox.nic.in. Any working woman can lodge her complaint on this portal.
Can you reiterate
shebox.nic.in.
Thank you.
Any working woman can lodge a complaint there. The action is immediately taken. If it pertains to an organization, it will be forwarded by the ministry to that respective organization, and the organization will now have to answer back also to the woman as well as to the ministry as to what action has been taken.
Absolutely.
So, government is taking a lot of positive steps in this direction to ensure that the workplace becomes more viable for the women also.
So, absolutely right, Smita. Now the scenario has changed due to pandemic,
Yes.
So most of us are working from home.
Yes.
Right. So now the POSH Act will be applicable in the same manner because we are,
Absolutely. So, though the COVID-19 situation has changed the work scenario for most of us are working from home. Our bedrooms and our drawing rooms have become our new workplaces.
Yes.
Now, we aren't sure whether we can make a complaint if we get sexually harassed while working from home. Yes. The law says any place where you are required by way of your work to perform your duties is your workplace. Now, your employer has asked you to work from home. So, your home becomes your new workplace. But these days, during this pandemic situation, we have seen a lot of cases related to virtual form of sexual harassment. Now, people may feel now that you're working from home, how can you get sexually harassed? But we are connected 24/7. We are getting harassed sexually.
And social media platforms. Yes.
As well as social media. We are getting harassed by way of, through virtual environment. The boss calling up a lady employee late at night asking for information. Is it appropriate? If it happens once in a while, yes. If the work demands it, yes, it is not sexual harassment. But if it is happening regularly, suppose after 8 or 9 after drinks, he just calls up lady employee just to chit chat. Does she have a forum to complain? Yes. Or if you are not wearing proper dress code while taking a video call, if I am wearing a t-shirt with some provocative slogans, won't you find it offensive?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
If I have a painting on my wall which is something obscene, won't you find it offensive? How would you take it? Can you raise a complaint? Yes, you can raise a complaint.
So here I have an audience question, which I like to take.
Yes.
So sexual harassment is no more gender specific. One doesn't sometimes understand what they're going through in a sexual harassment case at workplace. Most often people are not aware. Should companies cover this topic as part of induction program for both genders?
Absolutely. It is mandatory as per law also that companies should make an awareness on the POSH Act to all the employees. Everybody should be aware of what the policies are applicable to them. The companies are required to give training to not only their own employees, but also to their contract employees who are working at their workplaces, so that they are also aware what all amounts to sexual harassment, what they can do if they are getting sexual harassment, what is the redressal procedure that is available to them in case they are getting harassed. what are the reliefs they can ask for from their employer in case they are getting harassed. So companies are legally bound to tell all their employees. It is made a part of their induction process also. It is made a part of their annual training program also. Yeah.
So, Smita, tell us more about a person is sexually harassed at workplace. Whom should they report about it? To the HR or management, or you said the committee? And is it confidential? The such complaints are kept confidential, or how is the scene about in the workplace?
So all complaints related to sexual harassment are handled by a committee which is known as Internal Complaints Committee, IC, or IC, we also call it Internal Committee, IC. So all organizations, as I just said, with 10 employees or more is required to have an internal committee. Internal committee is headed by the presiding officer, who is the compulsorily a woman employee from within the organization. There are minimum of 4 members which we have in our internal committee, and there is one external member which we are required, all organizations are required to have in their internal committee. One external member may be a member from an NGO, maybe a member who has expertise on the subject of POSH. So the role of this external member is to ensure that complete neutrality is maintained, confidentiality is maintained, there is no biasness in handling the case. So anyone who feels sexually harassed or anyone who has any concern for that matter, they can reach out to the members of the internal committee, and the complaints are handled in a confidential manner. Breach of confidentiality is punishable as per Act. अगर आपने कंप्लेंट की है तो आपकी कंप्लेंट को कोई भी नहीं जान पाएगा. Even if you don't want to inform your boss, you need not. Internal committee is bound by the confidentiality clause. For that matter, अगर मैंने अपने बॉस के खिलाफ कंप्लेंट करनी है, I must have that faith कि अगर मैं उनके पास जाऊंगी तो they will not disclose the details unless and until it is required. So there's a process that we follow. अगर कंप्लेंट है जनरली अराउंड मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग, कई बार होता है ना, आपने मुझे कुछ एक व्हाट्सएप भेज दिया, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा, मैंने कंप्लेंट कर दी, दूसरे ने सोचा अरे मैं तो मजाक में सबको भेजा, मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग हो गई, स्मिता को अच्छा नहीं लगा. So we try to settle these cases by way of a simple conciliation.
Right.
If both the parties agree to it, I agree to it, and the other party against whom the complaint has been made agree to it, to apologize.
Yeah.
This is the simplest of method of resolution of complaint. Most of the complaints, which are around misunderstanding or some instance which may not be of very serious nature, we try to settle them in by way of reconciliation. But if it is something serious, we have zero tolerance on it. Proper inquiry will be done, proper action will be done. Throughout, confidentiality will be maintained. Rest assured on that part.
Right. So here I just want to come and bring out this aspect. There are many times consensual relationships at workplace where people are together and then later on they become cases of sexual harassment. So what's your take on this?
We are human beings. We will get into
Absolutely, but then
we will have liking for some people.
And they're very
absolutely. Can you stop people from getting into relationship? No, I will have liking for somebody. I may not have liking for somebody. As organization, you cannot dictate terms on me. But there are certain decorums as an employee which I must follow. If two people are in relationship at work, they must maintain the decorum. If there is too much of PDA, public display of affection at work, do you think it is all right at work? No. It will create hostile environment for others in the office. It will create hostile environment. If two people are seen holding hands all the time, or if two people are seen, just hugging each other all the time, won't it create hostile environment for others in the office? Yes.
Absolutely.
Or, if it is a one-sided relationship, then also it can create problem. If I'm not interested, then if you have proposed me once, and if you've got the answer no, Please take no as a no. No means no. Don't pursue it further. Don't go by those, filmy inspirations here. And, another way that, consensual relationship can create problem is when there's a breakup. When there's a breakup, two people may not like to work together.
Absolutely.
So if you are mature enough to handle these situations in a mature way, yeah, and that is why we keep advising organizations that invest in relationship policy. If two people are in relationship, they must disclose it. They must be made aware of what is okay and what is not okay. These are simple things that organizations can practice to build a work culture which is conducive for everyone.
So, have you ever came across such kind of incident in any organization, and how it was handled? Like Soumyata brought out, if it is consensual, then suddenly breakup is there, and then the allegations are put in. So, how the committee handles such kind of situation?
Handling of cases is a very fair process. What people feel and what people generally fear is that if a woman has made a complaint, it will result in termination. It doesn't work that way. It's a very, very fair and transparent process. The law has given the guidelines how to handle the cases. So like I explained to you, the first step, if it is around misunderstanding, we try to resolve it by way of reconciliation, reconcile the matter between the two parties. But if it is something like serious allegations, like a person is consistently pursuing after this and consistently bothering the other person and not ready to back off, then we need to do a proper inquiry. A proper investigation is required. We will interview both the parties. We will understand what is conspiring. Probably required have a look at CCTV footage as to how this person has been bothering this girl, or interview the witnesses. Come up, do all these steps, and then come up to a conclusion. This is all evidence based. This is a very legal process that we follow. It is not based on that a complaint has come and now an action will be taken. It isn't like that. So a maturity of the internal committee is very important. Whenever you are appointing your internal committee, don't just pick up people from different department or from the HR department and the senior most lady and just appoint them. Look for the qualities of a good member who can handle these things. These are human related issues. And you just don't take shortcuts in handling these things. These are investments that an organization must make in ensuring such things don't happen at the workplace.
Right. So, since there is, organizations are now mandated to create awareness among employees. So, what kind of POSH awareness interventions would you recommend for organizations to follow?
First of all, training, which is mandatory. The law says every organization should have a training for all the employees that are there. This should be done preferably on an annual basis. But I recommend that, have a formal training at least once a year, but make use of every opportunity that comes in to talk about this subject. Whether you're having your quarterly review meeting or you're having your town halls, make use of every engagement activity to talk about the importance of this subject. Managers should be trained separately because they are the one who are leading their teams. If their behavior is inappropriate, do you think down the line things will be different? No. So, have an additional training for the managers if required. Constitution of IC and IC members training is also very important. They must look out for signs of what is going around. They must look out for what are the rumors that are going around. Keep your eyes and ears open. Put up posters across the organizations. When you have posters across the organization, it sends a message that such things are not acceptable. When we put, that this is a no smoking zone, people realize it. Everybody knows it, but then it is a reminder. Same way, posters help in, reinforcing the message again and again. Anyone who is joining, it should be made part of the induction process. Have a group, a posh specific email ID where anyone can just write to you. Talk about it, only then you can give confidence to people that such things will not be, action will be taken. So these are few interventions that organizations can always take.
Absolutely. Smita, you
So
earlier
I have
mentioned
some
you have some audience
questions
questions.
from the audience.
Yeah,
Yes,
please
yes.
ask.
We
Please
have got
ask.
two questions from audience, which is actually related to a question which we were going to be asking. So Shweta Sharma says, why law says sexual harassment is equal to women as a victim. Gender neutrality, why only by specific companies? Uh, why have a law? Okay, the guys who are in case of victim of false allegation, what's there for them?
Absolutely.
I don't remember the name, but there was an episode where a boy was badly shamed on social media for harassing a girl, and
Yeah.
later on the story was different. Don't you think boys too need help coming out of such trauma? So yes, we were. Would you like to please address this?
The law is currently only for women, as I told you earlier, because even today, even today, all the statistics show that it is more number of women that get harassed than men, because the gender equation is not in favor of women. There are very few women at senior level. So once companies start investing in their diversity and inclusion agendas, and work towards having more women at the senior leadership, then definitely things will be different. But as I said before, that companies are now thinking of a step ahead and making it a gender neutral policies. So most organizations have made this a gender neutral policy. But generally speaking, and believe me, generally speaking, it is more number of women who get harassed than men. In my
Yeah.
25 years of experience, I haven't come across a single case where a man has come forward and spoken about that how he or he got sexually harassed. Though I don't deny this fact, but regarding false allegations, the law is very strict on that. The law is very, very strict. If somebody is misusing this law for settling their personal scores with someone, if somebody is misusing this law to malign somebody's name, then you, believe me, you can also lose your job.
Yeah.
There are strict actions for filing false complaints. So as soon as a person is making a complaint, we tell the person that if it is found to be false, the repercussions will be on you. The law, the policy says it very, very clearly that for filing a false case, there will be strict action which can result in termination also. In fact, there was a case in Delhi High Court also, which has reached Delhi High Court for which was found to be a false case. A complainant had made a false case. The court gave a penalty of 50,000 on the woman for filing a false case.
Right. So, very nicely brought out. Any other questions, Soumita, from audience?
No, that is it. That is it.
So, Smita, just tell us, how can we build a culture where sexual harassment doesn't happen?
Culture is not made in a day.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
requires consistent effort from everyone. It requires consistent effort from everyone. You have to keep talking about it, and culture is always driven top down.
So,
Invest in
how?
your training. Invest in your training, first of all.
Yes, yes.
Invest in your training.
Yeah.
Don't take shortcuts. Don't do a tick the box approach. And generally what we do is we punish people who are doing wrong. But how many times have we thought of rewarding people for their good behavior? Reward good behaviors. That is a way to bring a culture. And culture is always driven top down. If the top management is serious on the subject, rest assured everything else will fall in place. If top management is not serious, they are trying to protect their guys who are misbehaving, then we have seen numerous instances. You would have heard of Uber instance. How people had come up with this hashtag of delete Uber because of numerous allegations of sexual harassment. It has taken them so many months to recover from that. There are organizations which have paid a hefty price.
Absolutely.
So regularly talk about it and do invest in training at regular interval. That is the way to prevent it.
Thank you so much for
Right.
bringing it
But
out.
but for
Mhm.
another question is that how can be one clear about having their personal space? How can they be direct and tell them someone that you're invading my space? Or if you're uncomfortable with a specific situation and you communicate that or you say no, then later on the relationship with that person, especially if that person is your senior, it can get a little awkward or uncomfortable. So how should one handle such situations?
So this personal space is this invisible bubble that I have around me. This invisible bubble will change its shape and size depending on the person with whom I'm interacting. A person who is close to me can come and hug me, can touch me, can handshake with me. But a person who is hardly know, even a simple touch or a pat on the back will seem like very creepy thing to me. What should I do in that case? I must communicate. Do I have to be harsh all the time? No. You can always communicate politely also. Tell the other person I'm not comfortable. Staring at someone can make the other person feel so uncomfortable. It's all about impact, how I take it, how I feel about it. Protecting this personal space is very important for my own well being. Communicating this personal space is important for my well being and for my mental health also. How will I feel if somebody keeps invading this personal space?
True.
How many times we are just stressed out because this person will come now, stand next to my workstation, look into my laptop. He's not doing anything, but he's encroaching this personal space.
Absolutely.
And if this person doesn't stop, what should I do? I should tell that person. If he doesn't stop, write a mail. Please don't stand. It's a proof with you.
Mm. That's a
Reach
nice
out
one.
to your internal committee. Reach out to your internal committee. Tell them that I have told him person, this is message I've also sent to him. Now you can call him and ask him. You don't have
But
to suffer. We are
yeah,
all at workplaces to work. We are not at workplace to get harassed.
yes. You're absolutely right, Smita. But sometimes what happen, it is your boss or somebody senior, immediate senior under whom you are working, तो वो उसको इतनी डिफिकल्टी हो रही है कि वो बताए कैसे और किसको बताए. आई मीन कंप्लेन किसको करे. Internal committee is there, but she's somewhere scared also, like what about my job, then what about my promotion? After all, he is going to write your appraisal. So there's so many factors involved in it, so it looks easy but it's difficult to take action. So yeah, I agree with you. Such things are very sensitive. It's not that easy to handle such situation in your work life.
Believe me, Suman, it is not that difficult. Once you go and speak up, this initial hitch should come over. If you
Yes,
once speak up, believe me, things stop. If they don't stop, please reach out. Your career is, you will not be able to do your
secondary.
job if you're
Yeah,
constantly
absolutely.
harassed. You'll
Yeah,
not able to do your
Absolutely.
job properly if you're constantly harassed.
yes. Your mental
Probably
health
when
is
you reach
important.
out to your internal committee, the internal committee may change you to a different department. Will ensure you don't have to interact with that person.
Yeah, that is also there.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
there are options available.
Yes.
There are options available.
So yes, Smita, you're absolutely right. Viewers,
I
please don't
have
get
one
scared.
audience question.
Yeah, please,
Yes.
Samita, go ahead.
Yeah, there's an audience question by Arti which says most of the time we see that if we have women leaders, these policies are stronger, isn't it? How can we emphasize the message of security during the cultural training for all employees?
Come again, I didn't get that.
The question is most of the time we see if we have women leaders, these policies are stronger. How can we emphasize the message of security during cultural training for all employees?
It's by talking about it all the time.
Yes.
Talk about
Yes.
it. Don't ignore any instance of harassment. Don't ignore it. Just because he's my boss, it will have an impact on my career. I'm ignoring it. By ignoring it, you're actually aggravating the problem. Believe me, things are very different as they were 10 years, 20 years back. We are changing. We want more people to join the workplace. We want more women to join the workplace. Now the companies are also saying that we want people from the third gender, also from the LGBTQI community, also to join the workplace. How can we have this workplace equality and workplace diversity and feeling of inclusion for everyone if we keep ignoring such things? Such things must never be ignored. Speak up. That is the only message that I want to say.
Thank
You may
you.
lose one job, but you will have a confidence in you that I did not suffer. I did not keep silent. I did not suffer in silence. That is the biggest regret you can ever have in your life.
Thank you, Smita, for bringing it out all. And viewers, now today we got a lot of insights on like how to conduct yourself and how to be secure at your place. What are the committees there where you can report? And yes, it is a sensitive issue, and you should speak up for yourself, and don't be scared. And law is already there for you, but be sensitive yourself also. Don't use for maligning somebody's reputation at the workplace. So thank you, Smita, for being with us today and
Thank you.
throwing light on such a sensitive topic. Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Suman. Thank you, Samantha, for having me here.
Thank you so much for your insights. And the good news is that companies are taking it seriously. Things are changing. So we must have faith in that and go ahead. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.